Well, if you want to co-cast, you can do that. That's fine. You gotta include your audio whenever.
Alright, I'm hopping in now. Second.
Okay. Sorry about all that technical difficulties. Couldn't get my Streamlabs to work. Okay. So I had to end up just switching over to regular Xbox Twitch version of this, so it's not gonna be as clean as I would hope, but hopefully you can actually get game audio and mic audio to come through at the same time. That'd be nice. That's what I was having issues with. I could either get game audio or voice audio. I couldn't get both at the same time, and it was just driving me crazy. So I just had to switch to Xbox app. Seems to be working now. I don't know what the deal was. Anyways, I'm joined here by Onyx. He was gonna host a viewer party, but I was lonely, so I dragged him over here. How you doing, Onyx?
How's it going, man? This honestly seems like a hectic day. Can I get an invite? I don't know if it's open. Never mind.
It should be open right now, but I'm gonna close it. Alright, so for game one we have... You gotta go over here.
It's a question of Be Good, and the chat is asking if we're gonna do interviews.
Alright, we're gonna do a post-game interview since we're having so many issues getting started. We're already late. We're not gonna do a pre-game interview. After the game, we'll get the player who we think did the best and get him in here, but we just don't have time for pre-game right now. This Gravity versus Wildcards, correct? Yes. So we're doing Slayer Refuge to get things started. Alright, observers is on. You can go over observers. Honestly, I don't want to spend too much time talking since we're so late starting anyways, so I'm just going to get this game started and we can talk as it gets started.
Sounds good to me.
So, as it's warming up, no Beast this week, so it's going to put extra pressure on.
Which is going to be extremely interesting because as we know, Beasts are the top caliber players, so obviously they're the ones that make like the big plays and stuff like that. So they still have anchors, which are obviously high tier caliber players as well, but just not quite up to the Beast standpoint. So this should be interesting to see the different, I guess, gameplay that they're gonna play as different from last week, because obviously like different tiers, you have different play styles versus like how aggressive you are, certain map like knowledge and movement. So this should be interesting.
Yeah, like you gotta think, beasts will shut down
Slayer.
certain movement, like
Let's
they
see
shut
what you
down
can
portions
do.
of the map by themselves. So without them on the field, I feel like it's gonna change how the game's played a little bit. Like people are gonna be able to get away with things that maybe they wouldn't be able to get away with otherwise.
Okay. Should be interesting.
I'm starting on Dark Reaper. Pushing towards the middle rockets. Looks like, who is that, Amp Storm fighting against him. He got rockets though, pretty easily.
Center of attention.
Oh, I almost just
Reaper shoots Venom with the rocket, trying to get the team kill.
He was a little too, I don't know, he got the kill, but he
A little
did
too
push out there
aggressive.
a little far.
Yeah, Toast. Obviously, both teams have snipers, so you have to watch the open angles because that's all they're going to be waiting for to get those easy headshots.
Not only that, but even if he did get a kill and got away with it, he just gave up position up there to get it. So
Just paramount to
as well.
with Refuge, holding Ring 2 and Ring 3 is almost basic, like guaranteed victory, especially on Slayer. So you can just keep the aggressive push.
I agree. I'm gonna switch over to Toast and see as a sniper, see what he can do with it.
We're in the lead.
They have red team kind of pinned in the back right now.
It isn't bad for Red Team, they're just trying to figure out what's the best way to push forward without giving up too many lives. We got Dark Reaper, who had a nice flank and is currently trying to fight Toast and Amstel, but
Canadian, the last red team alive over there, happened to somehow get away and get a kill on his way back towards his team. That was pretty impressive. I'm gonna switch over Canadian. He's kind of going off that sniper right now.
10 seconds.
He's only got one bullet left, but we'll see what he can do. Rock's up soon. Let's see how they control this ring.
We're in the lead.
Rocket launchers on the field.
You're on a roll.
I don't know. I feel like both times red team got away with rockets pretty easily. Although blue team was there, I guess, just before they spawned up, but they both died right before they spawned, so they got pretty.
it was definitely Red Team was pushing for it versus it seems like Blue Team was just there because they just happened to be there for it. They see Canadian,
Yeah,
he's
I can see that.
definitely making the pushes for the power weapons, which honestly, considering this is Arena Halo, that's, you know, what makes the difference. It's a few extra power weapon kills.
Both these teams are actually started out 1-0, so it's kind of the two teams that kicked butt last week. Well, kicked butt, I say. They were both close series last week, but
Weapon pad in 10 seconds.
they both won, so we'll see right now. Whoever loses this will be their first loss of the
Weapon
season.
pads up.
Seems to be getting very close. Canadians watching out for the enemy sniper, which is good plays on him.
He doesn't really move too far away from ring, which is good.
Does he get damage point up there and see if he does anything?
Oh, Toast has sniper, just got a double kill. I'm gonna switch over to him real quick. And he has pressure on Venom as well. Venom's by himself here, he's kind of a scary spot.
We're in the lead.
He's gonna be taken out for it. Honestly, in that position, it probably would have been good to do a loose slide jump out of there towards his allies. Because, yeah, you live for a minute when you're hiding behind the rock, but you're just
Waiting the
prolonging
inevitable.
that
Rockets in
point.
10.
We lost the lead.
This is a very close game, though. 20-21. Red team with the
Looks
And
like
they have
Gravity
ring control
switched
now
it
as well.
up, exactly. They pushed wildcards out of Ring 2, and now they're holding Ring 2. If they can hold this, they can get a nice lead if they play smartly.
After Toast is done with these last 3 bullets where he dies, I'm gonna switch over to someone who hasn't been on yet.
Enemies halfway to the win.
Reaper's coming up with a flank right now, but Toast is ready for him.
You're on a roll.
Ooh. Alright, I'm gonna switch to Muku since we haven't given him any screen time yet. See what he's up to. Let's see, what is this? Reaper? Reaper has a sniper now in ring 2. Moves to put pressure on him. Oh, there he goes. See, that's what I'm talking about, like, being a little bit too aggressive. He got Reaper weak there, and then just... Sometimes you gotta trust your teammates.
It's the biggest thing. A lot of times where, like, say if I was playing stuff like that, like, you just have, you make people weak, but it's not necessarily, you don't have to push for the 1 kill because you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage. Even if there's no teammates there, sometimes it's, you just have to let them go because it's not worth your death for 1 extra kill because you just lost your advantage. Say if you're holding ring 2, well now you're dead, you're not holding ring 2 anymore.
Or even if you live, to be honest, you're already out of position. Like you give them free path to take control of them too, which obviously, like, I mean, we keep talking about it, but that's the most powerful position on this map. Switch over to Storm. Helping Toast clean up Canadian waters. Still a very close game, but like Reaper always likes to say, the 30s is usually where one team really starts getting on a roll, so we'll see if that's the case here.
That's all it takes, one big push to gather momentum, and then it's hard to stop that. Because it looks like Red Team has been controlling rockets for the entirety of the match.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, I mean, it seems not only do they control it, but they're getting kills with it too. Like, sometimes you get it, but rockets are one of those things, like, it seems like a really easy weapon to use, but people, I mean, people waste those rockets sometimes more often than you think.
And yeah, it's those 1 or 2 kills every time it pops up that can be the difference from 50 to 45.
Enemy's about to win.
Yeah, because not only you get the kills, but you get that 1 kill, you're on the people, so it can lead into a little domino effect as soon as you get a kill or 2 of the rockets.
We got 5 minutes left.
Push the rest of the team, very quickly turn to a snowball effect. Still so close, so 42-41, right in advantage.
Looking at the scoreboards, both teams are pretty much even, especially obviously they're both 42 or 43-42 now.
Gonna jump on E-Heart, let's see who he's up to. He's pushing Storm. He's not ready for him at all. But he did get a melee on him, that was very important.
We're in the lead.
Venom cleaning up.
That's something people, I feel like they don't do enough. Like when they're in a close quarter fight, they're probably gonna die, but they still have like little hope that they can get 3 shots on a melee and get a trade, but then you know it's not gonna happen. Sometimes you just gotta hit that melee and get him weak, and then die, and then hope that your team. People don't do it enough. They always try and.
You can tell early on, like if you're gonna lose the gunfight, unless you like you have like, the best strafes in the world. But for the most part, like you can tell if you're gonna lose that gunfight, then your objective should be just getting extremely hoping that your teammate can finish. And Venom with the K on Canadian.
That's unfortunate. They still have a lead by 1 point, but that is very fragile. But they have ring control.
We lost the lead.
This can go both ways.
Game over.
Blue
A break. That's a defeat.
2 kills to win it.
Wild cards for the
That
win.
was tight.
That was extremely tight.
You don't usually see a Slayer game go that tight.
So what we got, so, you know, first and foremost, Canadian and French Toast popping off 19 and 17 kills respectively. No, Canadian was holding power. He had essentially sniper rifle the entire match, so he was popping off, playing a little bit of aggressive and supportive from what I saw. You know, cleaning up kills, getting a few headshots here and there just to topple down gravity a little bit, or excuse me, wild cards a little bit.
First thing I notice is Muku, which is their ghost, which is technically the lower caliber player. He's he actually was one of the better players in that game with 12 kills, 12 deaths. Yeah, he went even, but he got 14 assists, which is pretty impressive. And 2,200 damage for him. He did very well. That's a big difference. I mean, that's what I'm like. You always hear it everywhere and everything. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and when your lowest ranked player is going off like that, I mean, it's gonna be hard to lose.
Exactly. Same thing with the, because lower caliber players have a, you know, a part to play in the game as well, because it's the team that makes the beasts and anchors. Like, they can't carry something by themselves. How their team supports them is extremely like detrimental to how well they're going to do that match and how that match is going to turn out for them.
Game 2 is going to be a King of the Hill on Cryptic. Any thoughts on this map?
Cryptic is, you know, not my map personally, but it's a good King of the Hill. So, and then I know Gravity worked on this a lot. The biggest thing about this map being on King of the Hill, it's very close and it's very tight. And with the hill moving all the time, it's very much knowing where it's going to be beforehand and setting up around the map, because you only need one person on the hill to score points. So being able to spread your men out enough so that you can hold them off without, you know, dying in the hill is pretty much like what you need to do.
Alright, so Wildcards is up 1-0. I mean, obviously it's going to be hard to tell because that was a close game, but do you have any team that you are looking at going into this game that you think might perform well?
Let's see. Like I
I
said,
mean, that was so close. I mean, I can't say personally. I have no
honestly.
idea.
It could go either way. It just depends on who can build that momentum at first and keep it. It can go both ways.
I do want to say on this map, Overshield, if you can get the slide jump, it's a little bit closer to blue. But if they push for that Overshield, red team should be able to burn it. But I want to see how red team plays it. If they're not concentrating on that Overshield at the beginning of the game, I think blue team could get away with that Overshield. I'd like to see how that plays out. I'm going to go ahead and start it up. But I don't know how blue team's going to play it either. Like, if they don't do the boost slide jump, then red team has the better angles on Overshield. They have top mid angle and the carbine ramp on the Overshield, which is the two better angles looking at Overshield. So
well,
that is
hope
where the
red
hill
team,
starts.
Which is Gravity, knows that, you know, if they know beforehand, they have like the decision like, hey guys, you know, we can't grab camo or we can't grab Overshield, so let's make sure we burn it, versus, you know, if they try to grab it themselves, they're kind of giving it to blue team at that point. But if they burn it, then it's an advantage on their point, or on their standpoint, because Ovi's not in play, and plus it's a 3v4 at that point, which makes it easier to go from the hill.
And
Let's see.
Stolen.
I don't know, Overshield.
Lost the lead.
Looks like red team
Stolen.
did get Overshield, but I got plasma pistoled instantly. Canadian's the one that got Overshield. It seems like last week as well,
Stolen.
Canadian got like a lot of Overshields. It's crazy to see that time.
Dark Reaper
Stolen.
letting SB2 headshots, or snipe shots I should say, but he is taken down,
Of
so
course, I
snipe is
switched to
on
him
the
and he
field.
died.
Red team
Red
is
team
holding.
is kind of uncontested right now on that hill. I've seen
Hearts with
blue
good
like
plays
Take
with
it.
the green
two different people on blue
Take
team
it.
pushing by themselves, and then dying one
Perfect
after,
kill.
you know, not kind of alone, and then leaving their teammate in a bad spot.
With Cryptic being so small, like it's you having
Stolen.
big pushes with your team is like paramount to like anything, because you
Take
can't push on this map by yourself. You would just
That's
get
the
shut
hardest
down way too
part.
easy.
Playing this game was like, you feel
Take
like
it.
so, like it's an urgent to get into the hill, but if you don't have patience and wait for your team, you can be in a very bad spot. And Gravity taking a very commanding start to the game. Not letting the results of last game affect them at all.
Taken.
I'm staying on E-Hearts right now because he has a sniper rifle. I want to see how blue
You're on a
team
roll.
reacts. They keep pushing in very
Stolen.
like single file.
Stolen.
Just the biggest thing.
Taken.
He did by his own teammate.
It was, I think that was Reaper, but he made up for it by getting a double kill on him anyway. So you know, kind of sweep that under the rug.
I think see Gravity is they know where the hills are going to be beforehand. You
Stolen.
can tell they practice because as the hill
Double.
pops up, they're almost immediately on it as soon as possible.
Okay, someone just clicked overshield. I think it was blue team, maybe trucker guy. Yeah, trucker guy with overshield, and they have control of the hill. So maybe this is a good chance for them to finally bring in some points. I feel like the overshield is a little bit more powerful than a sniper rifle on this map.
Center of attention.
It can be depending
Taken.
on who has it. Because if you have someone who can use the sniper rifle at very close range, then that's 10 easy kills
Also-
right there, which, you know.
Also, I feel like the sniper's strongest is when it's the hill on the overshield spawn. That hill is you can't hide. Like if you have someone with a sniper around, knock the guy off the hill a bit. These other two hills are kind of like more difficult
Stolen.
spot to use the sniper. I feel like. The trucker guy's going for the sniper. He's given up time on the hill for it. But we'll see if it pays off. It's actually taking a very traditional route. It's gonna be
Get shut
punished
down by
by
Canadian, and
Canadian
Canadian's
for
gonna
it.
grab it.
that's
I never thought I'd
recovery
do
thing,
that.
see what he does
That's
with it.
interesting.
Unfortunate.
Shut down by Toast.
Taken.
You're just switching the sniper
See if
around,
Toast
playing
can
hot
do anything
potato
with
with
the
it.
sniper.
Stolen.
Ever since Red Team got that 50 to 60 point lead to begin with, it's kind of been even since then,
Take
but
it.
that big lead has kind of carried them in this game so far.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Blue Team is going, you know, back to back with them, but Red Team's getting up on the hill and they're getting set up for the next one already.
Stolen.
That's something that they did really well last season as well.
Where they realize,
Stolen.
like, hey, we're not gonna be able
You're on a
to
roll.
get this kill.
Take it.
There's no point in wasting our lives on him. Let's just set up for the next one
Stolen.
and get the extra 5 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you trade 5 seconds for 15 essentially.
Taken.
Ampstorm
ends up
shutting
being.
down Canadian before you can grab the Ovi, which was a good play, getting a nice
Take it.
double.
And the trucker guy got it again.
Stolen.
This is big. He has a full
Take
overshield
it.
and they have control of the hill. They kind of need to get the full duration of this hill to get kind of back in the game. They won't be able to take the lead or even tie it up, but
Taken.
it'll be nice
Stolen.
to be able to get close.
Taken.
Overshield's drained. Red team is starting to get some slays on the map.
It's looked like
Take
in
it.
the beginning that they were kind of going at one at a time, just lively, but
Take it.
it looks like they're waiting for their team, pushing together, which, you know, obviously...
You almost
And
got it.
again, Red team is the first one on the hill. They must practice this quite a bit. They seem to practice rotations very well.
Which is nice because our first squad v squad, I remember, you get the hill on perfect, just Gravity's first map, because they weren't getting the rotation down. So it's,
Stolen.
you know, awesome to see that, you know, next squad v squad season that Gravity's the one that knows all the
bloody
rotation
knuckles.
by heart, so they're
Take it.
playing very, very well.
Yeah, and
Take
it's
it.
actually the only team that's has a lot of members from last season on the same team. Everybody else is kind of scattered around. But Gravity is like 3 or 4 of them.
Taken.
At least 3 of them are the same people from last season, which is more than half the team. So.
Which is great, because unlike the other teams, Gravity
Stolen.
has that advantage where they have that chemistry established beforehand.
They got the rotation. I should close out the game because of it.
Game over.
And
Tough
Gravity
break.
takes
Defeat.
the second game in the series, tying it up 1-1 for both going on to the third game.
I remember watching last week and I was co-casting with Reaper and I kept mentioning how, I mean, Red Team, which is Gravity, they kept just out rotating it. Every time they would get the first like 10 to 15 seconds of a hill, it seemed like. And it
And
ended
you
up,
can tell both parties were playing because in Gravity, for the most part, they're all up there in scores versus Wild Cards, where it was kind of Muku who was dominating going towards the hill versus his other teammates, which, you know, it just depends on the playstyle. But having that same mindset in head, like we have to control the hill, honestly put Gravity's the reason why they won that game like that.
so Reaper actually the one going off that game, and Demonic French Toast staying consistent. Canadian Walrus, they won, but he actually had a little bit worse performance than last game when he went off. Other than that, it's mostly even. I'd say, I mean, blue team.
No, it's pretty much even.
Honestly, the
for the most part.
Slays are pretty dang even. Like, yeah, it's a couple kills different, but Slays are very much the same, which is when that rotation really pays off because you're getting the better rotation, you're getting more time on the clock, which is actually how you win King of the Hill.
If you're having
So-
that Mexican standoff where you're just slaying one for the other, it's since Gravity was the one who was on the hill beforehand, they established that strong point. Excuse me. They established that strong point in the beginning. So even though they were having that, you know, kill one for another, they still had a body on the hill at all times. So it was just kind of hard. In my eyes, Wildcard is trying to take that hill back since they couldn't just have a team wipe then and there.
Alright, it was going to be a Bombard Fathom, but unfortunately we're having spawning issues, which I can't get fixed, so it will be a Bombard Coliseum instead, because for some reason the spawns on Bombard were not working correctly on Fathom. I gotta fix it, but they're so finicky, it's annoying to get it to work how they're supposed to.
While we're waiting in between, I'm just gonna give some quick shout outs in chat. So let's go, not shout out to Nadi even though she's there, but who cares? So we got DC Heat Flux, we got Jet, Venom in the chat as well, even though he's playing Lucky Lauren, Nikolai, Cold Ice Pack, we got Gold Pay Loader, DC already said, and Firebomb. Now thanks for watching. We have 25 people in the stream so far. Oh, and Be Good too, I guess, you know, he's there.
We got Nikolai just commented, watching his team play, which is the Demonic French Toast, Storm, Trucker Guy, Muku, Wild Cards. Canadian,
Iris,
I
you don't know what
just
you're
said it, but
talking
you must have
about.
missed it. The spawns on Fathom are messed up right now, and I can't get them fixed for Bombard, so we have to switch it over to a map that actually works. I apologize for that.
It's like Nadi is holding a revolt in chat, getting everyone to hate me, so, you know, there's that. Don't listen to her, she's a liar, she doesn't know what she's talking about, and all she's good for is team killing people. That is my little shout out.
I'm just messaging them because they're worried about it's supposed to be Fathom. We just want to make sure they're on the same page with us.
Which should be interesting since they knew the maps beforehand, they were practicing on Bombard Fathom, so since they threw a Wild One and throw Kali in there, should be interesting to see what both teams do, considering they haven't been practicing specifically on this map.
Once they're on the same page, I will start it. I just don't want to get them all in a weird situation. It's both sides on both teams are mentioning it, so it's not like it's giving one team one team knew that it wasn't going to be this map and the other did or something. It's both teams are on the same situation. So I'll message them. I'll wait for them to reply real quick. Oh, Dark Reaper with his 69 points. I'm sure Naughty Angel is proud of that number. Man, actually, this is very slaves-wise. I mean, you got game 1 where it was a 2-kill game, and then Cryptic, where it was 31 point game, but the slaves were almost even. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start this game up.
Sounds good.
Bombards, in case anybody who's watching who hasn't watched before. It's very much like Assault, but with a little bit of a twist. You get a point for each kill, and you get 20 points for arming the bomb, with 150 points to win it. So it's almost like a Slayer Assault combination, but you're spawning like it's capture. You know, you spawn on your side of the map each time, so it's not just like Slayer.
Get mean,
it's
Spartan.
not just like Assault.
This
it's a very new,
is Assault.
interesting game type in my opinion. I love it personally.
It's honestly my favorite game type, at least out of this series so far. Let's see, thing for Kali, we have snipers on the left, and up on rocks, for the MGE settings, we have, or MGL settings, we have camo. So, no rocks on this version.
And Venom just picked it up. I don't know if he's going to get out there alive or not. I'm going to switch to him. It looks like he did get away with it. You got to be careful with camo on this mode. I mean, you can hardly see him when they pick up the ball. And you can get some sneaky bombs, so it doesn't look like they're going for that play.
And unlike Slayer on this map, which is generally you can be very relaxed and, you know, kind of relax in the middle of the map, with Assault thrown into it, it's a very aggressive game mode with both teams pushing forward, so you might just miss, you know, that little glimpse of the
Enemy's got the ball.
Camo. It looks like no one's picked up Sniper yet, which is interesting, but as I said, yards grab it, so.
I'm gonna go ahead and switch to E-Hearts and see what he does with it. That's a big weapon for this game mode. I mean, it's always a big weapon, but you kind of know where everybody is headed, so you kind of can set up the angles easier than normal with a sniper ones on this game mode.
Considering arming is extremely fast in this game mode, shutting down the enemy team from making that defensive push, you can get your first score, or first 2 scores. Which is only 20 points, but those, they add up fairly quickly.
Yeah,
and here we go, Reaper arming.
We got the ball.
Hidden jump, he would have grabbed it. It's bad.
I feel like
we got the ball.
Blue team got away with one there because everybody else on the team side, who was it that killed him? I didn't notice, but everybody but that one guy was kind of in the middle of the map, and red team just snuck through and almost got a free cap.
You can get those easy caps because the arming is extremely fast. Like honestly, if Reaper just stood there without jumping, he would have got the 20 points right there. That's what was happening a lot in the last week with the first game of the series, first game of the season, where a lot of people would jump through and get like the easy quick cap. Even though they died, they got the 20 points because
ball incoming.
Just went back and forth. So
yeah, no, and we played this same map. My team and versus Wildcards actually. We played the same map last week and it was... We won it, but we were up a lot towards the end and then they got the ball. Caps, so like not even a fight. Like,
out of bounds.
Like they won a fight.
Ball incoming.
Like,
new ball.
They just got snuck in there because we lost vision of the map. Vision is so important on this game mode to know exactly where that guy is.
Sniper in 10.
Not seeing an aggressive play with Amstorm, who has the camo, but he is getting the snipes with the pistol from far away, hoping his teammates will get kills.
Perfect kill!
With camo, it's one of those things where like you have to be careful, but you want to be extremely aggressive with it. You can get those easy back-to-back, easy side pushes.
Ball incoming.
In the end here, he was nice, grabbing 3 kills.
New ball. Enemy's got the ball.
You know, not too bad.
Yeah. Red team though is the one that's playing more objectively. I feel like blue team had a chance to get the ball kind of in position to score there, but nobody really even pushed with it. It was just they were just slaying out.
Ball incoming.
It kind of seems like they're opting to
New
ignore
ball.
the ball at this point.
Enemy's got the ball.
Weird. Well, 3 people saw and they just ignored it, but they picked it up anyways. Maybe they were just waiting for it to spawn a rock so they can get it out of their base, which isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, because that is the quickest way to get it back to the middle of the map. Is if you just let it respawn, because it's a quick cap and it's also a quick despawn for the ball. So if you just let it sit there, it will get back to the middle of the map, which is the safest spot to have it. It's a one-hit beat down. Canadians just figured that out.
I'm not seeing a lot of team pushes coming from wildcards though. It kind of seems they're all doing their own thing. Because for a long time at elbow, Truck was
Enemy's
by
got the
himself,
ball.
not knowing like
Enemy
how to
carrier's
push.
been marked.
Enemy's got the ball.
They did elect to pick up the ball that time, even though it was in their side of the base. Reaper picked it up. We'll see what he does with it.
You can sneak with it. I don't believe it gives you a marker, so if you are sneaky, you can get a quick cap without them realizing where you are. As it looks like Reapers are about to pull off, and I spoke too soon. Maybe I should have given
That's what I mean. Slaves are even, but objectively, I feel like red
Enemy's
team
got
is
the
one
ball.
trying a little more to get those caps in. They almost had one, and they've gotten close with a couple others. Blue team, I haven't really seen them get the ball anywhere near
It's
the.
even right now, but you know, if red team does manage to get that score, then they just give themselves an automatic 20 lead. And considering slays are even, that's all they need, that 20-point lead.
Enemy's got the ball. We got the ball.
We found their carrier.
Killed the carry.
Reaper saved it, but he's in a fight with Toast. He needs to live through. You have a teammate there. Hearts is there to clean.
We got the ball.
After the first shot, yeah, as DC pointed out in chat, if you get shot, it'll point you out, but it's the same thing with the flag. If
We
you
got
don't
the
get shot
ball.
and no one sees you, there will not be a marker above your head.
Yeah, it's important to call out where the guy with the ball is on the opposing team, but also if you don't know where it is, it's important to state that. Here they go again, red team.
Enemy scored.
Again, the
Lost
one
the lead.
pushing
Ball
more
incoming.
objectively. Like blue team's playing Slayer. Red team's playing Babar. That's what it feels like.
New ball.
There it is, getting that a little late into the game, but grabbing the 20-point lead with the cap, so let's see if they can keep it. Because with the slays being even, wildcards has to grab the cap in order to tie it up.
We got the ball.
But again, like it looks like a big lead, 39-59, but it's actually just one cap. But here goes red team again, pushing into the base. Is blue team
Enemy
in the base
carrier's
for
been
this?
marked.
Killed the carry.
Yeah, perfect shot.
Perfect
from Luke.
kill. You've got the ball.
You're spotted. You've been spotted.
Center of attention.
Yeah, so they're down 18
We got
points.
5 minutes left.
One cap, and they have the lead. So
Ball
they're in four,
breaker.
not two. They have two slaves. Muka's pushing in. There's one more person
We
here.
spotted you.
Ammo and sniper to see if you can make any good plays here. And it looks
We
like
got
they're
the ball.
Shut down.
unfortunately was not able
Enemy's
to get
got the ball.
arm, though. Where's taken down?
Out of
Marsh throws
bounds.
the ball off.
Ball
Now to get
incoming.
it back to the middle.
New ball.
Smart play.
We got the ball.
That's the quickest way to kind of reset
Enemy's
the map
got the
and
ball.
like, force everybody to step back. Is just get the ball off the map or let it respawn. They can't keep pushing your base at that point.
Enemy carrier's been marked.
I do feel like blue team is kind of seeing the importance
You're on a
of
roll.
getting the ball on their side
That's
of
a double.
the field now.
You've got
They've
the
been
ball.
Playing a little aggressive with it. I'm watching E-Hearts with the ball right now. See what he does with it. He's pushing through grass.
A roundabout way,
This team
doesn't
is-
want to push through mid.
And they have the lead, so
He can take his time.
playing. Yeah. I'm not trying to go for a sneaky play. Although the enemy does have two kills now. 3 dead on his team. The other 2 are spawning up right now, so it's just the ball guy left alive.
Out of
And he
bounds.
plays the ball.
Ball incoming.
They're
New
playing
ball.
very conservative right now, which maybe they
have
think,
room
but it
to do
also
so.
might. They do have room to do so, but sometimes that's when the team, you can let a team get back into
Enemies
the
got
Smart
the
plays
ball.
with Venom, getting shot, didn't want the enemy team to have the snipers, so he just opts to jump off the map with it, which is very
Sniper
smart.
in 10. You've been spotted.
Watching Canadian now.
Sniper's up.
Ball incoming.
Which is, it's fine for
That's double. New ball.
nice stick from Canadian getting a nice
Yeah, that was
double.
beautiful.
Since Gravity did get the cap and they're on the lead, it's fine for them to play conservative. The only thing though is you want to keep being aggressive, you know, best defense
Enemies
is
got
a
the
good
ball.
offense. Because they're only
Storm
one
just
cap
picked up
away.
camo. I'm switching over to his point of view. He might be able to kill Josh and get away with the sniper.
Perfect kill. That's double. We got the
Shut
ball.
down.
And Dark Reaper takes him
Unfortunately.
out. It's kind of dangerous to jump up that high, because, I mean, you're just like blowing down like a feather sometimes. If you don't
Out
have
of
a boost
bounds.
anymore, you're
Ball incoming.
just...
New ball.
See what happens with the sniper.
Enemies got the ball.
Enemy carrier's been marked.
Any
Down.
nasty
Enemy
plays.
carrier's been marked.
Like, as you can see,
Right
it's
Right now they're down
like
22
We
points.
got the ball.
clearly different from last week where
Enemies got the ball.
would grab the sniper, like that was, you know, kill after kill, headshot after headshot. Where over here it's like the sniper isn't making as big as an impact as it did last week.
I feel like so far we've seen a lot of aggressive plays with the sniper, which is,
Ball incoming.
sometimes it'll work out in your favor, but
New
it's
ball.
more of a coin flip at that point, like playing in these dangerous positions with it. Reaper has him now, so and he's about to get taken out by Toast. Might be able to get away.
Let's see if he's breaking anything here, and still manages to stay alive. Unable to take down Toast though, so Toast is hunting
We got
him
the
down.
ball.
Let's see what Reaper does.
Let's go.
Ooh, bloody knuckles.
There's a very important play. That melee. It doesn't seem like
Ball
a big deal,
incoming.
but just getting so
We
close
got 1
to
minute
let
left.
Amp get that melee
New
on
ball.
him, I don't think it was necessary.
Enemies got the ball.
You see people do it all the time. That's all your shields got.
We got the
You're literally
ball.
one headshot dead.
You have to get the
not let
push
them
because
get
you
a-
know you're gonna lose, which is fine. But if you know you have the advantage, stay away. 'Cause he wasn't even.
Yeah,
You've
like-
got the ball.
You've been spotted.
It was a man, very aggressive. I don't think there's
Ball incoming. Just 30
any way they can
seconds.
win it at this point.
New ball.
Even if they get a cap, they're still down 2 kills. Striker guy does get the camo.
Fast hands.
You're
Pick up
spotted.
the ball. 17 seconds remaining. I just don't see it happening at this point.
Unfortunately.
Enemies
Take
got
it
the
out.
ball. 10 seconds left.
That's going to be 2 in a row for Gravity after starting down,
Oh,
starting
wow.
out.
Game over.
Down.
Tough break. That's a defeat.
So we'll see if wildcards can bounce back from this.
Score. So both teams slaying very well, though Gravity just getting a little bit more in terms of slays. So that you said slays are important, all, but it was honestly the cap they got early on in the game that allowed them to get the win because they didn't have to worry as much as wildcards did because they had that 20-point lead at all times, or it helped them get that lead at all
Yeah.
times.
It forced blue team to play more aggressively towards after at that point. Like they kept maybe pushing too aggressively, getting killed. They out damaged them, I'd say, pretty significantly. They had 2 people with 4,000, although E-Hearts did have a 3,000 and Dark Reaper 3,000, so it was close, but blue team out damaged them, whereas red team outslayed them ever so slightly. Again though, the slays were pretty even. It's just that one cap forced them to play too aggressively. It was actually still a close game. I mean, it was just that one cap difference, honestly. Next game is Plaza Strongholds. Alright, what do you think? Do you think wildcards can bring this back, or do you think the gravity will finish it out?
My assessment stays the same, where it can go both ways, but it looks like Gravity is playing a little bit more OBJ than wildcards, where it looks like they're kind of more on the slang sides a little bit, and that might just be due to, as I said before, Gravity does have a little bit more chemistry than the other teams, so they have that advantage. But regardless, with Slays being even as such, it can go both ways. It just depends on what team grabs momentum first and can make that first push in terms of score.
Yeah, this is a very fast-paced game mode. I think probably the fastest pace. Like, you can't slow down. You have to keep rotating or spawn killing them. You can't just hold a setup as well as you can on regular strongholds. I feel like you can still get away with holding a setup and just kind of playing slow, but it's more difficult in my opinion.
Especially with the faster pace capping, with the the more players in a stronghold, the faster you cap it. So with middle, I forget what it's called, but it being honestly the most important one, because you want to hold two at all times. The fact that a team before can basically jump on it and almost instant cap it can change it, which is different from the regular strongholds where you have to fight for it if you want to cap it. So this does play a little bit differently than regular HCS.
Definitely. Okay, let's get it started. I want to see if Muku can repeat his performance from game 1, or not even repeat, but come close to it. Like that was a very good performance game 1.
Extremely, and like you said, it's your only strong is your weakest link, and since Ghosts are
Strongholds.
considered the
Get ready to mark your turf.
not the top tier, if your Ghosts are going off, then it's essentially game for you.
It's hard to lose at that point. I keep starting on Reaper almost every game. It's kind of biased, I think.
Quick off the block.
Reaper grabs the camo at 50, manages to stay alive, so hopefully he doesn't get burned here.
Captured yard.
Trucker got going for the solo cap.
We're in the lead.
The thing is, when you go for a solo cap, not only does it take forever, but then somebody knows it's going so slow. Everybody knows that it's the person by himself, so it kind of makes it easy read for the enemy team
Area taken.
to shut you down.
It does look like Gravity's going to take the early lead and grab bottom mid. Wildcard still with no points. Not one point taken.
I'm gonna switch over to Toast Seal.
We captured bottom mid.
Doesn't matter too much.
They just captured bottom mid. I want to see if Toast can really bring it together. Now, he's a very strong player, in fact. One of the more, maybe not the strongest, but more consistent as far as workers go. He always seems to
20-point
play
run.
at a pretty high level. He's not up and down as much as some players are.
We lost yard.
Area taken.
It looks like Wildcard keeps grabbing the 2, but it looks like Gravity's opting for the bunny hopping method, where they're just running around grabbing an objective after Wildcard's grab one, so they always have the 2 point, 2 stronghold lead. Like Reaper,
Muku
but
did manage to kill him, but yeah, it was big that they managed to kill Muku's teammate there. I didn't catch who it was, but they would have had that cap if they didn't force that solo. If you can't, as soon as your ally dies when he's in the hill with you,
Captured nest.
it's almost impossible to miss that cap unless it's really close already, especially at bottom mid, which is such an easy location to get to.
Enemies took a
Camo should be
40-point
up,
run.
running.
It's a 20-point
it
run.
is up.
Catch if
I don't
anybody
know if
comes.
anyone notices it yet. It's kind of no. Canadian grabs
There we go,
camo.
Canadian has it.
Area taken. Got everything
They have
locked
total
down.
control.
It's the camo. You have to be aggressive, but in a different way. Most people, when you grab camo, you don't want to be, far away sniping, because you can get shot down. You want to get up close and personal and get the nice back smacks in, finish people off, run away.
They just hit a
They're
60-point
very
run. Break
harassing
their
to me.
hold.
And Gravity with the
Trucker is
first red
alone.
cap.
Yeah.
Riding a 40+ lead
Area
very early
taken.
on if they can keep this up. Wildcard's
This
definitely
mode's a little harder.
break momentum.
It's a little harder to have comebacks in this game mode compared to others. It can happen, and it's happened before, but if you give up a big lead, it's a little bit harder because they'll still score points even with one cap.
Perfect kill.
They don't have to have 2 like in the original Strongholds.
The game still can't go both ways. Gravity may have the momentum, but it's just as easy as they got it, they can lose it. and
Enemies
then it'll be
dominating
just
with
as
an
hard for
80-point
them to
run.
lose it.
Area taken.
They do have 2 caps. They need to go for that trip cap, and it looks like they are. So
Area
yeah,
taken.
Mook and
Got everything locked down.
Trucker. Go ahead and capture yard.
Hostiles captured nest.
The important part about getting them on trip cap is it forces them to
stupid,
kind
but
of
it works.
all
It
pile
ain't
on a
stupid.
base.
We
to
got a 40-point run.
cap it to kind of stop the bleeding, and when they do that, you know where everybody is, and you can kind of swarm them and get slayed, and then recap that really quick.
Exactly. And with everyone in
It
one
really
spot,
affects anything.
you give up map advantage no matter what. You're not going to have the high points you had earlier because you're all
Got
in one
everything
spot,
locked down.
which the enemy team cannot grab since you're not there.
Yeah. So like just there, that Emily does
Reaper grabs it and he manages to run away with camo.
Canadian help in there. I'm gonna switch over to Reaper, see if we can do it. Oh, he got a
gets
kill, but he
shut down by
died.
Amp.
Mookie is going for a solo
They just
cap.
hit a 60-point run. Break
Yard.
their hold.
Likewise, Venom is going for a solo cap at Nest, and he got shut down.
Secured.
Muku did grab
Got
it.
everything
Got
locked
shut
down.
He did get it, so they
That's
got
a double.
triple cap again.
It's on these things
They
where
kind of,
Ooh, bloody knuckles.
no, they're kind of,
Absolutely.
blue team does have the momentum right now. Like they keep getting a trip cap, but give up a cap, but then they'll kill them all and get that trip cap back again, which is how you're supposed to play this.
Muku
my
playing
opinion.
smartly, knowing they're going to spawn
That's an
trans and go
80-point
for
run!
Yard, and he's already
Hostiles
running
captured
forward. If you can stop him. Unfortunately, is shut down by the
unfortunate
next
play
map. If he managed to hit the jump up to top goal, that would be very advantageous.
Trucker does jump in and saves that cap barely, and they slay him out. That was a good play by Trucker guy.
Enemies halfway to the
And
win.
all of a sudden, it's only a 10-point game.
With a 90-point progressive lead towards Wildcard. It's one of those things too, like when the other team has momentum, you'll get that tunnel vision, and you have to take that step back and like reevaluate what you're doing. You know, choose a different path, choose a different like play style, which is extremely hard to do in the heat of the
Enemies
moment.
control everything.
Now, red team has it though. 2 quick kills to Toast. but also down on blue as well, so it's kind of even right now.
Hard saving bottom mid from Toast, gets the back smack on him. Turkey guy.
When it's a triple cap situation, the bottom mid play is very dangerous because even if you get it, then you're gonna have to disperse
Area taken.
to get that next cap, and it's kind of easy for the other team to retake bottom mid while you're doing that. All of a sudden they're down 30 points. They were on a roll, but they kind
We
of
got 5 minutes left.
So it can shift
Area
both
taken.
ways
Over there for me.
extremely easy.
Area taken.
But as I say,
Got
that's
everything
triple
locked
cap
down.
for them.
They had 3
Stronghold
people running
Stormer.
bottom mid and almost got it immediately.
And now they know that they're going for yard. Like they might get the cap here, but they should play it smart. They should be able to slay them out and recap this instantly.
Area taken.
Looks like somebody is
Got
solo
everything
capping
locked down.
on Nest. Nope, now there's 2 of them over there.
With a trip cap, honestly, it's harder to split 2-2, 1 go yard, 1 go nest, just because they have to split up and you have a better chance. You don't want the middle objective, because as you said, there's both sides that you still have to grab, so they're just going to grab bottom mid again.
Amstorm looked away at just the wrong time there, and ended up costing his teammates
Story of
5.
my life.
20-point lead for Gravity. Still not over, but blue team does need a couple more trip caps to leg into it right now.
We almost got it.
Venom playing really well down Nest. Camo should be up soon. I think catch it's
Hostiles
up yet.
captured
I didn't
bottom
catch the
mid.
time on the last one.
Hostiles captured nest.
Enemies control everything.
Here's a
Canadians
trick
with the
out. Now they need to push the yard right away and get
Area
the slays.
taken.
Muku making the same play, but double checking so he doesn't get back smack this time.
Oh,
Venom with the nice shotgun
Toast.
plays.
Storm needs to keep this bottom mid, and he's not going to be able to. There's 3 of them ganging up on him. That was a unfortunate play by Toast. He went for the melee and missed it. Got him killed.
Hostiles captured nest.
Triple cap for red.
Enemies control everything.
Trip cap.
3 in the bottom mid right now. If they can slay these out,
It's hard. As you can see, gravity's moving together in one force, which is very, very hard with the shots with how fast the time to kill is in this
Almost
game.
got it. That's a double.
Very hard to break that.
House win. And that's a triple.
triple kill for Canadian. Storm's the last one. I might close it out. I mean, it's going to be hard unless they hold a consistent triple cap for the rest of the game.
Yard secured.
I don't think they're gonna even
Got
be able to
everything
get
locked down.
2 caps of this range.
House win.
Hostiles captured bottom mid.
2-minute warning. Area taken. Got everything locked down.
Reaper
doesn't-
honestly playing very good this one.
Very, very good. It does seem like this is going to gravity. And
That's
that
the match.
finishes
Victory.
the first series of today, with Gravity taking a 3-1 lead.
And puts Gravity at 2-0.
Very, very close on all games. It was just Gravity had a little bit better objective play, because in terms of slaying, both teams were on par. But said it's the objective mind mentality that Gravity had that allowed them to get the last 2 wins.
Yeah, Toast did have a good game again. Yeah, but yeah, like you said, I mean, slays are just so close. It's just those little objective plays that make a difference. And this season, it's going to be 4 objective game modes and 1 slayer every week. So objective play is going to be very important.
Yeah, it does mean in the future there's a possibility that we won't see a Slayer match at all, because it could be the 5th match of the series.
Alright, so who do you think we should bring in for this post-game interview? Who stuck out?
I was looking at Canadian popping off a lot of the times in terms of supporting his players, but I also saw Venom playing very smartly in terms of he knows he's not like the most top tier player, and he uses that to his advantage because he'll support his teammates, which help them in the OBG plays in the long run. So let's go for the team captain Venom.
All right.
Hey, welcome.
Alright. Make sure you include your audio.
It's included.
This is the post-game interview.
Ow. Little old me.
Yo.
Yep.
So let's start with
Most-
the most important question that everyone's been dying to hear. So, why is the AR favorite gun?
I will say, it is more of a skill-based weapon since they updated it with that big thing they did a while back. That being said,
No,
you
you're
can
good
also
there. You
mess
don't
up
have to
really hard with it and die.
So it turns
I
out
don't know,
I
it's
have
just got a
selective
good
hearing.
classic feel to it.
Alright. No, but how'd you feel? How was the game? How was in the middle? Because as from our standpoint, all games were very, very close lay-wise. You guys had better OBJ plays that let you take the victory in the end, but imagine how stressful and heated it must have been, like, during it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We were a tad bit stressed out after that first match. Accidentally killed my boy Hearts with a rocket. That sucked a lot.
We got that on stream too.
Oh, of course you did. Of course you did. But yeah, we just tried to stay positive. We got a lot of positive people. We just bounced back from it and finished strong. It was tough. The other team was definitely tough. Yeah.
What did you
let's get
come
it.
in? Or go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Onyx. I'm gonna
Is
find
that
a silly question, but you go ahead.
What did you come in thinking, knowing? Because I know, and I mentioned this in the stream earlier, that with Gravity, you guys, for the most part, most of the team is still there from the last season. So you guys already had that chemistry beforehand, unlike the other teams. So did you think that really helped you out here in terms of having that advantage since you guys already play with each other?
Absolutely. We got Canadian. He was on the team last year, and we did finish second overall last season. For those who don't know, it's also Canadian's birthday today, so be sure to give him a little shout out on that.
Happy birthday!
And we
Canadian.
had Dark Reaper. He was our coach last season, so having them two definitely is not relationships and chemistry that have to be built so much. Hearts, he's the newest person on the team. He's super positive. He's a great player. We all mesh really well, and then we got Grady. He's been around forever too. So I'd say as far as chemistry goes, we're pretty good job. I mean, we butt heads every now and again, but who don't, you know?
Fair enough. True.
All right, I'm gonna ask a question from Reeksy.
Oh.
Who's your favorite pro player?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to pass on this one because I really don't follow professional Halo.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna ask you another one from Reeksy then. Camo or Overshield?
Me personally, I like camo because it lets me sneak around and get in the position to either get assists or lucky little back smacks and things like that. Whereas I feel like me personally, if I get Overshield, it's like you're a big green target and everybody's trying to shoot you, everybody's trying to kill you. I just feel like I get more done with camo.
Alright, I'm gonna get one more question and then we'll let you go. From MGE Don. Do you have a game time beverage that you like to have, either just gaming casually or when you're getting sweaty?
It really depends on the day of the week and the time of the day. Honestly, if it's like early in the mornings, I'm like sipping on a protein shake. Sometimes I'll have a little Bang or a Rain energy drink, something like that, kind of get going, or even a little pre-workout, just if I'm scrounging around for some juice, you know. Every once in a while I'll drink like a beer or something, but I try not to really drink too much when I play. But yeah, I'd say the Bang energy drink is my go-to drink.
Rain though, I've been having those rains too lately. I've been kind of making a switch
Yeah,
from Bang to rain.
yeah, I like the Rains too. I feel like it's like most of the places I go shopping for them only sell one or the other. I don't think the Rains have the creatine in them that the Bangs do, but they're still a good beverage, and it's made by Monster.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe I read that. I think it says so on the can. I'm not sure, but yeah, but yeah,
Alrighty
that's
then.
my drinks.
Well, that's gonna be it for the questions. Appreciate you jumping in. We got to get going because the other game's gonna be starting up soon.
All right, that'll be fun to watch. Y'all guys have a good evening.
All right,
Awesome.
GG's.
Thank you. GG's, man.
I am Italian. I eat spaghetti.
Spaghetti sounds good right now.
I hate spaghetti.
Alright, well, you can get out of here then.
Alright, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna let Reaper start it back up on his end where it actually works because my end is broken. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay on the channel because it's gonna be popping back online here in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere.